إلهي 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 وخلاقي إلهي
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Greetings, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Naeem from Houston, Texas for CasaIslamica.com. I first start by saying La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, that there is no God worthy of worship but Allah, and that Muhammad is his slave and final prophet. Brothers and sisters, I'm here today to talk about something that's should be on the hearts and minds of every Muslim in the world, but not just Muslims, but anybody who has a heart, anybody who has, compassion for fellow humanity. And I just want to start off by telling people, I'm not I've only been Muslim 3 years. I'm not a scholar. I don't speak for, anybody but myself. And I'm just talking because, this is something I've really got to talk about. So I just want to start off by bringing up the certain situation or the current situation in Israel or Palestine that just happened. And the reason that I want to bring this situation up is because, for the past few years, 3-4 years, it's been like this. The media and newspaper, everybody been pointing the fingers at Muslims and making this out to be a religion of hate, a religion of terrorism. And I just want to talk about that. That's not what this is, And my perspective is not one-sided. I was born in this country in Ohio. I was raised as a Christian person, and I'm just here to talk about this religion that I love, this religion that saved me, brought me into light. I've talked about this before, but before I was Muslim, I really was living the wrong type of life. I didn't care about other people. I was a selfish person. I didn't really care about the consequences of my actions. I just wanted to have fun. I just wanted to do this and do that. It was Islam. It was the Quran. It was Allah. It was his beloved Prophet Muhammad that taught me how to be a good person, And before I get into what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to quote the Holy Quran. It's a verse in the Quran that says that Allah created humans for one reason, and that's to worship him. And everywhere you go, it's this question of what is the meaning of life? You can get a scientist, you can get a doctor, you can get a rocket scientist, anybody, and ask them what the meaning of life is, and they don't know. But yet Allah has told us this. He created us to worship him, He created us to prepare for judgment day. He prepared us. To put it in layman's terms, this life is only a test. And those who are successful, and the only success in this life is those who enter paradise. And, Allah, God knows everything. So the future and the past and the current. So in the Quran, another verse, God says that the people who are being hellfire will turn to one another and they question one another. And they'll question amongst their own selves, and they'll say, if we had any intelligence at all, we wouldn't have been in the fire. And that's what Islam is. It's a religion of intellect. We're not supposed to just follow blindly. Over and over in the Quran, Allah talks about the sun and the moon, the heavens, the birds in the sky, and the reason he does that is to make you reflect, to make you think, you know what I mean? So, anyway, back to the situation. I just want to, I don't know the exact number, but there was thousands of people who, Palestinian people women and children who were killed in by the Israeli army. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I just want to show that now when that happened, nobody will stand up and say, because of what happened in Israel, all Jewish people are terrorists, or all Jewish people are violent, or all Jewish people are murderers. No. So why is it that when a Muslim person, or a group of Muslims commit something that's bad, we paint them as, terrorists? Islam is a religion of terrorists, and that's not what it is. I've had to, argue with my family, my friends, people I grew up with to defend my religion, And I think it's not fair to call, and I'm just sitting here again because this is something that I love. This is in my heart. Nothing is in my heart like Islam, and I'm just, really telling you this. So I'm not here to, give a political analyst on Israel. I'm not here to do that. But what my main purpose is to defend my religion, to defend Islam. And let's be objective, okay? Let's be objective. You want to talk about, my perspective of it, I ask you this. During the 300-400 years of slavery, how many African Americans were killed by the Europeans? Nobody today will call George Washington and the Founder Fathers terrorists. These are heroes, right? How many Native Americans were massacred and wiped off the planet? Nobody's going to call Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin a terrorist, okay? So it's not fair, you know, or it's not a good thing when you group a whole organization or a whole religion for the actions of a small group of people. And just don't believe what you've seen on TV. I mean, if you want to talk about TV television 30 years ago, 40 years ago, who thought we would have had an African American president? You know, 30, 40 years ago, you turn on the TV, you know, they painted the civil rights activists as terrorists. 50 years ago, they said Martin Luther King was a terrorist. They said Malcolm X was a terrorist. You know what I mean? These were people who were enemies to America. So I'm not here to convert anybody. I'm not here to, you know, try to point the finger and say this is the bad guy. But what I'm saying is this. Don't judge a whole group of people or a whole religion by the actions of a few individuals, you know. And war is bad, you know. Anytime somebody is murdered, whether it's a Jew, a Christian, atheist, whatever, it's a bad thing, you know. In this situation in Palestine, I mean, I heard people say that good, they're killing the Palestinians. They terrorists anyway. They blow them own selves up. So it's good. So it's good when little babies die. Over 300-400 babies, innocent kids, women were killed in Palestine, you know. So and I'm not here. I mean, some people may say I'm just saying this, I'm Muslim. No, I mean, I think it's a sad, you know, whether you're a Christian, Jesus came with a message of peace, right? Muhammad came with peace, you know. When we say Salaam Alaikum in Islam, it means peace be upon you. And regardless of you a Jew, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever you are, we all humans. We all come from two people, Adam and Eve. We all brothers and sisters, you know. And I mean, the history of this world shows us that violence doesn't get anywhere, you know. And it's not about, with me, it's not about black or white. It's not about Muslim or Christian. It's not about rich or poor. It's about justice and injustice. You know, just because I'm black doesn't mean I'll have any less rights as a white person. Just because somebody is Christian doesn't mean they have any less rights or to freedom, to justice as a black person. You know what I mean? So, and I think, you know, I'm not a political analyst or anything like that. I'm young. I'm new in Islam, and I'm just here because this is what I believe, and these are the things I stand for, you know, and the things are changing, you know. I mean, things are changing. Just look at the situation with the president, you know. Who thought that we could have an African-American president? Who thought, you know, who knew this would happen 50 years ago when black people were fighting for the rights to drink out of the same water fountain, you know. So anything is possible when you put God first, you know what I mean? So that's really just the message I want to, you know, say to people that if you want to know about somebody, you want to know about something, go do the research. You know, it's 2009. You know, don't prejudice, racism, bigotry. Those are things that we don't have to accept anymore. We don't have to accept those things. You know, when innocent people are killed, we should stand up. We should stand up for that. Whether it's your brother or somebody on the TV, when you see something wrong, you stand up for that. Because if they'll do it over there, they'll do it here. You know. And that's just a message I want to deliver, you know, from CasaIslamica.com, from Houston, Texas. Peace be upon everybody, you know, whether you're Muslim, Jew, anybody you are. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.